When we look back on our lives, we all have those moments when we wish we'd made different choices. I know I do. Maybe you regret not studying abroad when you had the chance, turning down a job that would have been the start of something amazing, or not learning to play an instrument. Maybe you wish you'd spoken up during a meeting when you had a perfect idea, or told a close friend how much they meant to you before they left. Perhaps a potential relationship slipped away because you were afraid of getting hurt. Who hasn't wondered about what might have been? What if you'd taken that leap of faith, said what was in your mind, or pushed yourself to try something new? Regret is the second most common emotion we all experience, and while it can be painful, it's something we're all likely to face, given that it's probably helpful to learn how to handle it so that it doesn't overwhelm us. In this video, we'll explore why regret matters, how it can be a valuable tool, and how we can use it to guide our future decisions. Stick with me until the end for a practical exercise that will help you discover the deeper insights your regrets hold. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate just how complex this emotion is. Regret isn't just feeling bad about a past mistake, it's a complex cognitive process. When we feel regret, it's more than just emotional discomfort. It's our brain signaling that there is a gap between our actions and the outcomes we'd hope to achieve, or the person we are versus the one we aspire to be, our present versus our ideal self, or the values we hold dear. It is a mental effort requiring to go back to the past and imagine an alternative future. In fact, some authors even call regret a superpower because of its ability to help us find motivation, learn from our behaviors, readjust them, and grow. Regret is unique to humans, at least as far as we know. The only people who don't experience regret are children until the ages of 5 to 7, adults with certain brain injuries or neurodegenerative diseases like Huntington's or Parkinson's, and psychopaths. Interestingly, antisocial individuals do feel regret, but often fail to use it to change their behavior. In both cases, the absence of regret or the inability to learn from it can lead to significant consequences. So, why does regret matter? Daniel Pink, in his book The Power of Regret, explores how this emotion serves several important functions. Let's take a closer look at how it can work for us. Regret can help us make better decisions. For instance, let's say you've had an argument with a friend where you lashed out. Later, you regret how you handled it. Upon reflection, you realize that your anger wasn't truly about your friend. It was the result of stress from different other areas of your life. This realization highlights the importance of developing better, more assertive communication skills, where you can express yourself clearly and respectfully, even in tough conversations. It can also reveal to you the value of taking care of your own needs. Perhaps you learn that when you're feeling drained, you need time to recharge instead of pushing yourself to meet up with others. Also, this regret might highlight how important this friendship is. Regret can boost efficiency. Studies show that regret can actually help us increase our efficiency. For example, in a study Daniel Pink references, which was done by Keith Markman, participants who focused on their regrets after a task were more persistent and performed better the next time they did the same task. This shows that regret isn't just about reflecting on our past mistakes. It can be a powerful motivator. Regret can be a kind of a training for our minds, a kind of mental recalibration. When we go over something and we learn the key things of what worked, what didn't work, so we can use this as information for our future decisions. And the interesting fact is we don't actually need to wait for regret to hit. Just anticipating the regret we might feel regarding something, like not speaking up in a meeting, putting off something important, not spending enough time with our spouses, with our kids, with our parents. All this can nudge us into a better action right now or into more informed decisions. Regret can also give us more meaning and perspective. Think about some major choices you've made: where you live, who you're with, what work you do. When you imagine the roads you didn't take, it can feel difficult, but the interesting thing is that The more you would engage with imagining that, at some point you would become aware of everything you might have lost if you didn't take your actual path. And it can make you feel like the path you did take is more meaningful. And there is a term for this. It's called counterfactual thinking. And it's when we imagine how things could have gone, but instead of spiraling, it can actually strengthen the connection to what we have. And there was one study that found that people who looked back on big decisions and really deeply explored the what if felt more invested in their current life. They saw the value in their friendships, their romantic relationships, the personal growth they went through, and even in their setbacks and the lessons they gained from it. And there is another very interesting example, which is related to Olympic medalists. You'd expect silver medalists to be happier than bronze medalists, but often it's the other way around. Silver medalists focus on just missing gold, but bronze medalists are more likely to think, at least I made it to the podium. It's the same event, but the story they tell themselves is different. And that story really changes everything. Now let's do an exercise exploring one of your regrets. Before we start, make sure you are not interrupted, and ideally you would want to have a piece of paper or a journal. You can take notes immediately after the exercise. Take a moment to center yourself. Find a comfortable position and take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a moment, then exhale gently through your mouth. Let your body relax with each breath and allow any distractions to fade away. Take another deep breath in, feeling your belly rise and expand. Hold for a moment and then exhale, releasing any tension you may be holding. Breathe in slowly again, and as you do, allow a sense of calm to wash over you. Hold the breath gently, and then exhale, letting go of any stress you're holding. Continue for a couple more times, feeling how with each breath you're becoming more present, more grounded, and more open. Allow this stillness to support you as you dive into the exercise, creating space for gentle exploration and insight. Now, pick one regret. It would be best to avoid starting with your biggest one. Allow yourself to create space within to focus on it. As you start reflecting on your regret, notice what comes into your consciousness. What do you feel? What do you see in your mind's eye? Perhaps your mind is already showing you a specific moment when a decision was made. Remember, even the lack of a decision is a choice in itself. Let yourself recall what happened or didn't happen. What were the consequences? How did this impact your life and other people's lives as well? Now ask yourself, what knowledge and resources were available to me at the moment? Reflect on the circumstances and what you had at your disposal at the time. Also reflect on what were your thoughts and emotions at the moment. Ask yourself, what was I hoping to achieve? Consider what you were aiming for in that situation and what you thought the outcome would be. And now, looking back with the benefit of time and experience, ask yourself, what do I know now that I didn't know at the time? As this reflection surface, allow yourself to feel any discomfort that may arise. It's okay to feel the weight of regret, the frustration, even the disappointment, and the sense of loss. Acknowledge the pain and recognize that it's part of being human, part of the growth that comes from learning through experience. It's okay to feel whatever you feel. Now, with this awareness, offer yourself some kindness. Imagine a dear friend coming to you with the same regret. How would you respond to them with understanding and compassion? Extend the same gentleness to yourself. Recognize that at the time you were doing the best you could with what you knew and had available. You were navigating life with the knowledge, resources, and circumstances you had then. How would your present look if you had made that different choice? In addition to what you feel you would have gained, is there anything you would have lost if you had taken this other path? Is there anything positive in your life now that came as a result of what you consider the wrong thing? Reflect on these possibilities and notice what they reveal about what's important to you. Now, thank your regret for helping you recognize what matters to you. Even though it may be painful, no matter how much you wish you could change the past, it's important to acknowledge that what you did was based on the knowledge, the resources you had at the time. It's always easier to judge things in retrospect. As a human, you may have made mistakes or choices that were not the best for you. No human is perfect. Allow yourself the freedom of being imperfect and to appreciate the journey that has brought you here. Now look at your present life. How is that regret informing you now? What can you do in the present based on this understanding? Realize that while we cannot change the past, we can always make better choices in the present. There is always something, no matter how small, that you can do now. Allow yourself to know what would need to happen now based on what you learned from that regret. Is it reaching to someone you haven't spoken to in a while? Starting an activity you've always wanted to try but thought it was too late for? Taking better care of your health? Connecting more with the people you love? Making amends where necessary? And looking ahead, what would you regret in the future if things stayed the same in your life? You can choose to pause this video if you need more time. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can take some time to write down your thoughts and connect to your deeper values and the next steps forward. I hope this video on regret gave you some useful insights and helped you reflect on how this emotion can actually guide us to live more meaningful lives. Sometimes regret can reveal things about ourselves we didn't realize before. While we can change the past or undo certain things, we can always learn from them. We're human and we make imperfect choices, but that's part of the process. As the philosopher Euripides said, it's a divine evil for mortals when someone knows the good but makes no use of it. So let's use what we learn to make better choices moving forward. And if you'd like to explore these ideas more deeply and learn about my work as a therapist and coach, or even work with me, head to growandthriveacademy.com for insights, upcoming courses, events, and blog posts. You can also book a one-to-one session with me right on the website. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, share it with someone who might appreciate it as well. And if you want to avoid having even more regrets down the road, check out our video on procrastination. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.